All right. You'll lose our play just at the bridge. You'll lose our play. Right. Good morning, everybody. It's September 13th, 2022. It's about 9:03 a.m. And this Liberty County Commissioners Court regular meeting. We'll call this meeting to order. Let the record show that Commissioner Karbowski, Commissioner Arthur, Commissioner Whitmire are present. Commissioner Wilson's online with us. There you are. Thank you. And we will call this meeting to order. We have first things first. Let's Commissioner Karbowski, if you'd lead us in the pledges this morning. I'll get the invocation.
Would everyone face the American flag?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Face the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Y'all pray with me today. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. As we thank you for each and every day that you wake us up and you give us our opportunities to go through life and do the best we can for one another. Do the best we can that we will show one another that there is love in this world, that there can be peace in this world, that there can be that kindness that we can share with one another to help each and every one of us to get through not just the day, but the week and the years to follow. And then to show you the glory, because it's because of you that we have all these wonderful blessings. Lord, please help us to once again remember September 11th that we just had passed by the other day. Lord, again, please be with those folks that perished, and may we never forget their presence and their lives here with us, and now their lives with you. Lord, please help us to make it through the rest of this week, through this day. Lord, please give us the wisdom and your guidance with your grace, with your love and your ever presence, that we make the right decisions for one another to help one another. Please be with our men and women in uniform, our first responders, as they go through each day too, to protect us. We ask these things in Jesus' most precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Well, we have notices and proclamations and golly. Sheriff, we have a resolution for you. Yeah, we do. This is a resolution that whereas Sheriff Bobby Rader has completed all 4 modules of the 254 Leadership Academy sponsored by the Texas Association of Counties, thereby demonstrating a strong commitment to personal and professional development and furtherance of the execution of duties of public office and service to the residents of Liberty County, Texas. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the Liberty County Commissioners Court, does hereby recognize professional achievements of Sheriff Bobby Rader, and with admiration and respect, extend our sincere appreciation for the invaluable contributions that Sheriff Bobby Rader has made to the residents of Liberty County. And it's signed by the Commissioners Court. The Sheriff, I'm going to come down here and shake your hand.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Wow.
Judge, I want to thank you. This course is actually open to all elected officials, all 254 counties, and they take 2 people from each elected office. And so you make an application, and if you're selected, you get to go. And it's the most intense leadership school I've ever been to. It's awesome. So thank you for that.
Evidently, it sure paid off. Thank you for everything.
Yes, sir. Thank you for all your help.
Sure enjoyed working with you too.
I enjoy working with y'all. Thank y'all very much.
Yes, sir.
I got you.
Right. Well, let's see if we have any public comments today. Nobody. All right. Declare conflicts of interest. Anyone? Number
15.
15.
I'll abstain on the consent agenda because
On the total consent agenda, just that one item.
on that one item or the
Okay. If y'all had an opportunity to look over the consent agenda today.
Yes, I have 2. One, increasing the cafeteria supply budget at the jail by $1,336 due to a refund. And the second one, basically, there was some money deposited into Fund 27, which is election services contract, that should have been deposited into the thing, so transferring $1,042 in program income, in the election services fund to education, training, and the elections department.
Along with the additions, I make a motion to approve.
What I would like to do is I'd like on the consent agenda on the 75th District Court, approved comp time pay for Cliff Smith. I'd like to go ahead and pay that down to 100 hours and leave that 100 hours standing.
Okay. My motion stands.
With that addition.
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion to approve with the additions as stated. Second, we got a motion from Bruce, a second from David to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay. Also, that did include the district court order, correct, Matthew? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
All right. All right, regular agenda. First item up, 8.1. For me, consider and approve the order designating the second and fourth Tuesday of each month as the day on which Commissioners Court, Liberty County, Texas will convene in a regular term. And that's pretty much a standing date and time that we've been, I mean, how many years we've been doing this, Matthew? At least, 184? About right? Okay. Okay.
move to approve it.
Second.
Motion from Greg, second from Leon to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, next. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 2, 8.2, consider and approve the 2023 holiday schedule for Liberty County, Texas. Has everyone had the opportunity to look over this, and what is the court's pleasure?
Make a motion we approve.
Second.
You got a motion from Leon, second from Bruce. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 3 from Mr. Poston, Ms. McCarty, County Attorney's Office. Consider and approve interlocal agreement between Liberty County and Hardin Independent School District for law enforcement services at the elementary school during the 22-23 school year.
This one should be high school, middle school. It's a small error in this. This is the one with Mad Dog office.
Okay. So we're going to strike that on the agenda and vote on it accordingly, correct?
Say that again.
We can strike it on the agenda and correct it there.
Yes, with a proper motion. That's correct.
This is high school. Middle school. Okay, any questions, any discussion?
Make a motion to
Approve.
All right, got a motion for Bruce to approve. Leon, is that a second?
Yes.
Thank you. Got a motion for Bruce, second for Leon to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 4, for Mr. Poston, Ms. McCarty, consider and approve interlocal agreement between Liberty County and Hardin Independent School District for law enforcement services to be provided by the Liberty County Sheriff's Office to 23 school year. Is there any clarification on this, Matthew?
No, that was correct. It's written.
We're good to go now. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
make a motion to approve. Second.
The motion from Bruce, second from Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you all.
Number 5, consider and approve the following as representatives and alternates to the General Assembly, Houston Galveston Area Council for the year 2023. Myself as delegate to the Board of Directors and Commissioner Arthur as the alternate. And this is, I guess for the last 8 years, it's what we've had. And I will say I've never missed a meeting because HGAC is where it's happening. And I'm not going to miss a meeting, guarantee you.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, second from David to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Gentlemen. Number 6 from Mr. Dennis. Glad to see you back over there, Nick. How your tennis shoes doing? They holding out? Okay, good deal.
No holes yet.
All righty. Consider and approve replacing the current platinum copier in county court at law to the upgraded model. It's a Sharp BP 70C45 at a cost of $112.61 a month. You have anything you want to?
No, this is just to add to the master contract that we have with Platinum. This is just notification saying, hey, we're going to swap the
Okay.
contract.
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion from David,
Second.
second from Bruce to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 7 from Mr. Dennis. Consider an approved contract with AT&T for installation of internet being installed at the new Sheriff's Office and JP Annex. And yes, we need to get this done or else they're going to be having 2 cans of a long string.
Yes, sir. So this is for the secondary internet. We're going to have redundancy for the 2 buildings. So
Yes.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, second from Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 8 for Mr. Dennis. Well, we wearing you out today, brother. Yeah. Consider and approve IP service for Liberty County Precinct 3 South.
yes, so this is going to be up in for David's area. This is going to be through ACC for internet for the new yard, I believe. It's out there. So we got to get some internet out there for that location.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion Bruce, second from Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. The motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 9 from Ms. Bergman, our district attorney. Consider approved contract for 4 platinum copiers, model BP 70C45 for the DA's office. 3 of them will be $112.61 a month, and 1 of them will be $130.70 a month.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, second from David to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 10, consider and approve the district attorney's office request for the Texas Bullet Resistant Shield Grant Program. for the DA's office to be used by agencies within Liberty County.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from David, second from Bruce to approve. All in favor, say aye. Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 11 from Judge Brown up in JP Precinct 5. Consider and approve the purchase of a Brother laser fax machine for Precinct 5 Constable's office to be paid from the JP Technology Fund in the amount of $229.99.
Make a motion to approve.
We still using fax machines?
I second motion.
Well, we moved up a little. Got a motion from David, second from Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 12 from Ms. Harris, our treasurer. Consider and approve employee and retiree medical, dental, vision, and ancillary insurance coverage for calendar year 2023. And Kim, you want to discuss this? Thank you.
We can sort of set the stage for the status on it. The Commissioners Court approved going out for proposals on the self-insured coverage for the 2023 calendar year. And so that happened and we received bids back. Chuck Robinson is on the Zoom there, so he can speak to you in detail about the bids that we got back, but we did get an increased interest on our self-insured coverage for 2023, which was very possible. The insurance committee met and reviewed all of the proposals that were received, and by unanimous vote, the insurance committee voted to continue with the coverage that we currently have with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and to recommend to the court that under the self-insured insurance, that is what we move forward with. So basically to continue what we have now for our employees and retirees under 65 for the 2023 calendar year. Now, there would be a decision with regard to the over 65 retirees. And I can let Chuck work through the details of that with you, but that would be something that the Commissioners Court would need to decide on. The insurance committee did not make the decision with regard to the over 65 coverage. We currently are with Benistar, Hartford Benistar, and all of our over 65 retirees are very, very happy with that coverage. It seems to be working very well for them. So the insurance committee recommends on a self-insured coverage that we move forward with continuing the Blue Cross Blue Shield coverage and all of the benefits that we currently have with them. Now, I know that TAC provided us with a fully insured proposal. And the insurance committee reviewed the fully insured proposal, and we met several times to talk about it. The conclusion from the insurance committee yesterday afternoon was that we feel like this is just the Commissioners Court, that the insurance committee would, our service is to provide you with a recommendation on the self-insured coverage. However, the Commissioners Court would need to make the decision with regard to whether the county should move forward and make the relatively big change to the fully insured coverage. So that's sort of where we are. The insurance committee says on self-insured, we keep what we have.
Mhm.
And it's up to the court to make the decision on whether we keep what we have or we make the switch to the other coverage. We're currently partially self-insured.
Mhm.
The move would be to, the other move would be to tax fully insured coverage.
Okay.
So that's the status. Now, the insurance committee, when we met yesterday, we agreed that we could not, come to a vote or a recommendation report with regard to the fully insured coverage. However, we did talk about weighing in on it with the court individually. And I know Harold is here, Penny's here, Angela's here. I think that unless somebody else is on Zoom, and then Chuck is here. I don't see Orlando from TAC on the Zoom call, but Harold, would you like to speak with regard to the insurance committees?
Sure.
Or with regard to whatever you want to speak on, I guess.
My personal opinion.
You might ease up this way, Harold.
If you go either way, the self-insured or the fully insured, I think we're gonna be, there's both good insurance plans. But in my opinion, if you ever thought you wanted to get out of the self-insured business and the risk involved in that, and go with fully insured, TAC is a really good quote, I think. And I think this is a good opportunity to do it.
So will everything be the same? Blue Cross, same coverage?
Blue Cross would be, it's pretty close. There's some differences.
So we've been assured that the medical network is the same. Blue
So they can
Cross.
still be the same doctor?
Doctors will stay the same. Prescription will go to a different prescription.
And I have some pretty big concerns about that, Commissioner, with regard to the prescription change. We've asked from TAG and Gallagher for an analysis of the disruption that there would be with regard to the change on the prescription coverage. And that it's very late in the game for either TAG or Gallagher to provide us with that information. I've read some articles that state that the change whenever TAC as a group went from the Prime Therapeutics or from whatever they were on, which we're on Prime Therapeutics, to the Navitus prescription network, that there was a lot of noise, that people were concerned. It's a completely different sort of plan because there are tiers with regard to drugs. You pay, a higher cost at this tier, a mid-level cost, a lower cost at the other tier. And I feel like there are a significant amount of drugs that aren't covered. So but we don't know
But they
it for
are
sure
covered
because
now.
we don't have the disruption report from either group. So that's sort of my standpoint. My biggest concern would be the disruption in prescription.
Angela, you're on the committee.
You said it'd be out-of-pocket cost for the employees?
So TAC actually has a copay system. And the proposal that the county received from TAC changes the deductible situation. So what they're proposing is that there is no longer an HRA, that instead they lessen the deductible from $3,000 to $1,500, but the employees would pick up the first $1,500 of the deductible, and they wouldn't have the HRA to pay for first, but there are co-pays. So I think it depends on each individual employee as to how exactly it would affect them depending on what their needs are medically.
Could you,
So,
the acronym HRA, could you describe that for the folks
it's
who
a
are
health
listening?
reimbursement
Sure,
account.
thank you.
And so what happens with that is, in the early days of me being in office, we had a $400 deductible, and it was not sustainable. And so over time, historically, what happened was we had to bump that deductible up.
Mhm.
And also over time, there was that was a big hit to employees. So their deductible was having to go up, but their salary increase was not matching it.
Right.
And so over time, the way it evolved to the way it is now was a $3,000 deductible, where the county picks up the first $1,500 through the health reimbursement account, the HRA. Yeah. So then,
On a financial and budgeting aspect of this, what would you add?
I would just say I've been county auditor going on 7 years. And every year I've had to pump money out of the general fund balance to the self-insurance fund. Right now, the self-insurance fund has approximately a little over $1 million in it. And last September, I put $1 million in it at the end of last budget year.
Above and beyond what we budgeted for. to
And
begin
then the
with.
year before that, I put $1.1 million into the self-insurance fund.
Yeah, let me make one other point. Right now, you have at the HRA, we have Firm Foundations as our clinic, and then we use Plan Source to administer some of the things. When TAC sent us their quote, it was to do it as close as what we have now, but to be fully insured. So they did take those into account. But under TAC, I mean, that's just plan design. You can still have Firm Foundations, you can still have an HRA, you would change your deductibles or whatever. But if y'all choose whichever way to go, that's plan design. Y'all can make changes in the design of the plan. But it's not necessarily taking that away. You could add it, that just costs a lot of money. HRA is like 500,000 a year, something we put into it.
And Firm Foundation is 270.
But it doesn't totally take it away. You can still do those if you want.
Do we actually need them? I mean, with the new policy, it sounds like a person can go anywhere they want to go.
Well, I mean, they can now. The problem is, I think, is we've never really been able to, okay, if you go to our clinic, it doesn't cost the employee anything, right? We pay them for that. We've never been able to say, okay, that keeps people off making a claim on insurance, so it saves money on the insurance side. We've never gotten numbers where we can figure, are we coming out ahead, behind? We don't really know.
Because we're self-insured.
Well, yeah, we still have the right to do that, I guess.
Angela?
Thing that disturbs me about this is, understand, I'm not anti-TAC. I like TAC. But the problem is, I feel like this court has been brought in on this at the last minute. There hasn't been enough study and research to make a determination, a good determination, what is the best route for us to take. I don't like the words disruption at all, because when I spoke with TAC during the workshop, they couldn't give me a time frame on how long this disruption would take place. I also don't like the fact that some medications ain't going to be covered. And so our employees are going to have to wind up pulling out of their pocket on a monthly basis in order to be able to have their medications and or do without them. I would like to see us at the time being stay where we're at. I would like to see us reapproach TAC come March, April, and allow them to come back to us with another bid where we can look at this in detail. Their bids came in real late, and I think that's why we have a lack of research on what the best option is. I don't want to do anything to make things hard for our employees, costly for our employees, and I don't want our employees doing without their medications.
That I understood on the medication, though, medications it wasn't basically apples for apples. There's always generic and different medications that TAC may use now that Gallagher or the other firm doesn't use.
See, Bruce, I think that to your point and to Leon's point, with regard to the medication part of it, we don't know. We know, like Leon said, we don't have the disruption report, and we,
I think that they could give us a timeframe.
Angela, come up here.
They said that, that most of the time, it's settled down within 4 months, 4 to 6 months. No, we don't know that, we haven't done with it before. But they also likened it to if Cigna came and gave us a better quote,
Jay,
and we would have switched.
I can't hear her, Jay.
Yeah. We're gonna get her up front.
So they did, kind of give a tentative timeline in the workshop, and they said, the description should calm down within 4 to 6 months, typically. And, then we likened it to, because we also got a good quote from Cigna. And if we would have switched to Cigna, we would have had the same disruption as we would have switching to TAC. They did not say drugs were not covered, but it's just like with anything, certain drugs would be covered and certain drugs might not, just with any insurance account. But they also said that if you're taking a drug that's not covered, that they would work with you and they would give you a 3-month supply so that you could figure out with your doctor which one you needed to get. But yeah, tiered.
What would happen after that, Angela, if they didn't?
Well, the doctor would have to find another drug that was working for you, whether it's the name brand or be generic.
What if they don't cover that drug?
Do what?
What if they don't cover that drug?
A lot of people get coupons for some of those drugs. I've talked to, I know that it happens with lots of people I talk to. If there's a high dollar drug that's out, then sometimes the doctors do get coupons for those.
What's our prescription drug?
That's what I was gonna ask you. I don't think we have a prescription drug plan right now at all. I'm sorry?
Prime therapy.
Oh, we do? Okay, is it on a tiered level? I don't know what it's on.
I'm not sure exactly how the Prime Therapeutics works. It's not tiered.
Right. So I think what's happening with a lot of people right now is they're having that HRA. And if they have high dollar drugs, they're cleaning it out immediately, and then they don't have an HRA at all for the rest of the year.
If my understanding, we get $1,500 put into our pharmacy account, and after that $1,500 is gone, we're basically paying for our prescriptions on our own anyway.
Your deductible.
Yeah.
And so the switch to TAC would be your upfront, like the first time you go to the doctor in January, you would be responsible for the $1,500 instead of, pushing
Well,
it back.
but we would have like
You
a
would have
copay.
Yeah, it's
And a
copay.
lower deductible.
Yeah.
But it was my understanding too, that the reason we did the HRA before I was here, that they did that to compensate for those higher deductibles. And so with the deductible coming down, then there wouldn't be a need to front the money. But that's just what I'm understanding from my financial point.
So, I guess, Penny, would you like to come up and weigh in with us? I think what you can all see from the discussion, I think.
Did you say that the insurance committee unanimously?
The insurance committee's duty really was to take a look at the self-funded proposals, which we did. And there was a unanimous vote to go with what we have now. So
Yes,
Yeah.
but that's only because we aren't giving the duty to look at fully insured.
Yeah,
So we can get-
The last meeting, the insurance committee was not gonna make a recommendation.
Only on the self-insured, because that's what we were created to do. So if you chose to go self-insured, we would say, okay, Blue Cross is the best decision. But if you want to go fully insured, then that is solely up to the commissioners, because that isn't what the insurance committee was created to do, to make
So
that
y'all not
decision.
recommended.
We're not giving you one or the other.
Yeah.
We're not saying go fully insured, stay self-insured. No, we're just telling you if you choose to go self-insured.
Stay where we got.
Stay with
Yeah.
Blue
And
Cross.
this is
But
one thing y'all need to consider too, from the financial aspect. I know this year we're doing the budget, and I know you guys, y'all wanted more than what y'all got. And part of the drag on y'all getting what y'all want in the budget is us having to prop up this self-insurance fund.
So one issue with regard to the budget and the health insurance is like Harold was saying, that some of that outside coverage that, you know, we have over time gone with has not necessarily been added to the budget numbers. Also, the budget, is my understanding, has included the employee part of the expense, but not the retiree part of the expense. So the budget hasn't included a lot of the extra costs that are associated with the whole big picture of the benefits that are being provided to the employees. So that's, you know, you can over budget things, you can under budget things, and I'm afraid that, you know, it looks like this might have over time, you know, through no fault of anybody, been under budgeted.
Well, last year we increased the county portion and the employee portion on the health insurance premium.
And still had to add money to it.
And that was my idea, working with Jay.
Mhm.
And it was like moving heaven and earth just to do what we did last year.
Jay, didn't you talk to Judge Sylvan? And don't they been using TAC for about 15 years?
About 15 years, and
And what do they think about it?
they're very pleased with it. That was the exact words.
Penny, did you have something to add?
I basically agree with what the committee is saying. I think the decision is just basically, do we want to remain self-funded or do we want to move into a fully funded plan? And until that's decided, the plans can be tailor-made under which one we want to go to. So the one that we're currently under, we like, we do recommend it. This is the one that we would propose.
If we was to stay.
If we stay, yes. So we're out, yes. So that's the decision that just needs to be, we keep coming up against, and that's what we need to decide as a county.
I don't know if it was pointed out, so let me just be the one to say it. Self-insured, our claims go up and down. And it's gonna happen too if we go fully insured. However, we take the brunt of it when we're self-insured. So if the claims get really high, the county pays more. If we go fully insured, then we are not under that risk anymore. And when TAC gave their estimates, the premiums were very similar to what we're paying right now. The coverage is just different than what we're used to, but it's, I think everyone that looked at it said it was really good coverage. You know, we haven't had those type of prescription plans, and we haven't had copays. But anyway, everyone seemed to be happy with the coverage and that you can go anywhere you want. But from a budgeting aspect, that means that if we were to go fully insured, and it's my understanding that we've never gotten a quote from TAC,
No.
is that correct? I don't know, I'm asking Harold. Has TAC ever quoted us fully insured before? So this is a first time that, you know, they liked us and they gave us a quote and said, here's what we're gonna charge you if you come with us. And granted, he said a lot of those things can be tweaked or changed. They were just getting it out so that we would have an opportunity to take them. And the big difference from a budget standpoint is we won't have the unknowns and the unknown risk. If something were to happen, if we hit another pandemic where a lot of people go into the hospital, and luckily that did not happen, but it could have easily happened to us. But now if they choose this fully insured, it will be a fixed cost in the budget, not, okay, do we have to put more in this year because our claims are high? That is when the insurance company will take on that risk, not us. And so we'll have a set amount. Now they can go up just like any insurance on the rates. And we were TAC gave a 9%, I can't remember, close to that, a cap, so that they won't go up more than that next year. You know, what if we just have a terrible year or they don't have all of our claims, you know, and then they look at us again, that's the most they would go up on us next year. So just wanted to give you all that information, because sometimes if you weren't sitting there, you might not have gotten all of that. So if you have any more questions, we'll try to answer them.
Penny yesterday I guess it was after the insurance committee meeting, raised some concerns with regard to the timing. Penny, you wanna talk about that?
I just feel that
Come a little closer if you would. please.
the timing of it, I can agree with Commissioner Wilson on the point that we did get the bid very late. And the committee has really sat down and wrestled with it, and took into, very concern and care with looking at both the pros and cons. And I really feel like that, a lot of the committee members were stressed over the time frame. Some of them were not comfortable on making any suggestions just because we just don't have a lot of the information. We were given it last Thursday, I believe, at the workshop, and it was this thick. And we're trying to make the best decisions for ourselves and for our employees, and and all of the different salary increments. Not everybody makes the same amount every year. So we really need to think about everybody as a whole and what it would do to do this. The proposals are just too different. They're not the same. They're not apples to apples. They're just, with both, we're still using Blue Cross Blue Shield, where that's not going to be a problem. I do think we can tailor make either one of them. It's just financially, we have to look at it financially, what is best.
Mhm.
And that's just what it comes down to.
Well, financially speaking, with the tax proposal, you have a bottom line that does not move.
Yes, sir.
With the, that's fully insured. With the self-insured, you have a bottom line that moves like a chicken
Yes.
getting shot at. It's the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
I mean, and we know this, we've been through this quite a while, but, same token, I'll say, yeah, we got it kind of late, and really at this point in time, you're looking at what's best for the county financially. That's what our job is
Yes, sir.
to,
And don't forget about our employees.
Yes. Yes, sir.
well, that's in consideration too, Leon. It's not just the employees, but also the bottom line that the taxpayers are looking at,
Exactly.
But with any change comes fear. And, we're going to be leery at any time we make this kind of change, whether it be late in the deal or whatever. And I think as the county grows, as we need to, there's changes that's going to come about. I would,
I absolutely agree with you.
Yes.
Like you say, I think, change is tough.
Mhm.
Now, the tag proposal that we received is, it does provide stability. So, like I was saying in the insurance committee meeting yesterday, we're stewards of the taxpayers' money. We're stewards of the employees and keeping good employees here. And sometimes those two things are difficult to manage because sometimes they work against each other. So, and that's kind of where the conversation is right now. Do we keep things the same for our employees and not have a great amount of disruption at the sort of last minute? Or, do we move forward with the change? Now, Leon mentioned that let's take a look at it, but maybe let's get better prepared for it and get more information and get more questions answered before we jump off into it. That may be the thing. I am not opposed to TAC. I think it's great that TAC provided us with it. I do. It does concern me that there's going to be, unforeseen problems that we're not prepared to tackle.
I like changing to Tyler Technology Busing. It's really going to be a pain, but it's probably best.
I agree. I like TAC, but this last minute deal, no one really knows.
In fact,
Let me address that. There ain't no last minute deal. I don't know where everybody's getting that from. They sent that in about a week after the first time the committee met looking at the self-insured.
Mhm.
There was a confusion on the day. There was problems on both sides. One, they couldn't get the information they needed from Blue Cross, sent to them. Finally did, kind of late. And then they got mixed up on the date and sent it in about 2 weeks after we originally decided to, but plenty of time still to look at it. Okay, we started talking to them last year, really, but about March, really started talking to them seriously. Well, and about March or April, you don't even have all the claims from last year.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to give a quote. So they kind of waited until the RFPs for their self-insurance went out in June. So I had asked Alfred to send them that information so that they'd all have the same amount of claims, the same thing to look at. They sent it to us, and that's kind of my fault, because I said, don't send it to us early, because you got two different entities here, one self, one. I don't want a tax quote getting sent over to the self-insured side.
So if we wait until next year, we're basically looking at the same timeline.
Well, okay, but say y'all stay self-insured. Okay, we come up next year, Cigna comes in, just blows the Blue Cross out of the water. Well, guess what? We got different doctor network, we got different prescription plan. Are we gonna let Blue Cross just hold us because we don't want to change?
Yeah.
Maybe you're gonna have a disruption either way you go, if you ever change.
You know, we have a history with Blue Cross anyway. How many years have we been with them? I know since 16. I know at least that long. And that's, I think,
January 2000. You moved to Blue Cross from Cigna January 2017.
Thank you. Okay. So that's why I think we've had some favorable quotes from Blue Cross and through Gallagher. You know, it's that we have a history now that they can at least look at. You said there's 9% cap with TAC. We don't have a history with that. With the same token, would it be a 9% increase next year after they look at what our history would be? Would they even compare the history that we currently have with Blue Cross in consideration of any increase in the future? That's just something to kind of think about.
There's a lot to think about.
It is.
It's a tough decision.
Yeah.
Anything we do, no matter what, any way it changes, there's gonna be some disruption, whether it's insurance, whether it's taking over jail, whatever, there's gonna be some disruptions. We just that. Another thing I looked at was the coverage that employees get. And I think that TAC, from everybody I've talked to, TAC provides a very good plan. And from what we met in the workshop. And the other thing is the financial, and financially, I think we're better off by looking at the TAC.
I make a motion that we go to TAC.
Second.
All right, got a motion from Bruce. Second from Greg to move to TAC. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays.
Nay.
Beg pardon?
I said nay.
Okay. Oh. There we go. I can break that tie. Let's move to TAC. I'll vote. And simply based on the bottom line is what I'm looking at, because that's what my job is. All right.
Judge, if I can just say something.
Yep.
So move to TAC, we can go ahead and move forward with that. The Commissioners Court will have to make a decision with regard to the over 65 coverage too. So we'll just not deal with this on this agenda item because it's kind of been a lot. So I'll put it on the next one if that closes the court.
Okay.
We'll work through that
Okay.
today. Okay, but that will have to get reviewed because the TAC bid, my understanding is that the TAC bid will cover under 65 retirees. So we'll have to take a look at the proposals that we have on the over 65.
95. Okay, let's move along. Number 13 from Commissioner Karbowski.
This was Ms. Cam 2 that come in and paid us $425 for a culvert on a piece of property that she was intending to buy, and then she found out that it was up for back taxes and it went to the sheriff's sale. So, she did pay it in good faith, and we cannot put the culvert in. Need to give the lady her money back,
$425.
$425.
Got a motion from David to approve. Need a second from Greg. All in favor, say aye. Likewise, nays. Can we take a break just for a second? I really need to make a pit stop. Take a recess just for a minute.
Ms. Lee, should I, stop the live stream?
Coming back in and saying, "Hey, which.
Hello, Ms. Lee. I paused it. Oh, okay. I can, unpause the recording.
I was just checking.
That's
Yeah. Administration.
Everybody hear us? We're back live? Yes, we are. Ready. Number 14, from Judge Fuller of Precinct 6. Consider and approve the purchase of new phones for Justice of the Peace Court 6 office. Evidently, talked to Judge Fuller and his phones are beat up and not much left of them, but
Make a motion to approve.
thank you. Motion from David, second from Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye. Likewise, nays.
He's got the funding for that.
I'm assuming he does.
He better. Y'all say those coffee cans, it's all right. Number 15, permits and inspections from Mr. Douglas. Consider and approve the acceptance of roads in Santa Fe Section 8. These roads have been inspected by Precinct 3 and have passed inspection.
Judge, it is what it is.
Yes, sir.
Section 8 of Santa Fe. The charts that we got on this show that it was recorded in September of 2020, which means it's been in the maintenance program 2 years. And it's now coming out of that for full adoption by the county for future maintenance. Commissioner Whitmire, that's your precinct.
David, you happy with them?
Excuse me, sir?
David, are you happy with them?
I'm not a great big fan, Leon, of roller compacted concrete. And we have seen some failures in that area. But for the biggest part, Mr. Whitmire sent one of his crews out and they inspected Section 8, came back, they had to do some additional ditch cleaning, they had to do some additional mowing. But for all practical purposes, it's good to go. So yes, sir, to answer your question, I am happy with it.
Make a motion, we approve.
Motion Leon, second Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye. Okay. Yeah, likewise nays, and that is 3-1, and David abstaining on that vote. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 16, Mr. Douglas, consider and approve GLO draw request number 2, the amount of $29,190.28. And number 3, in the amount of $7,297.57. David?
Mr. Arthur, this is coming out of activities in your precinct. This is for the housing buyout program.
Yeah.
These are mainly appraisal costs that have been done on houses. We've got $6.1 million that is in the process of the program for your precinct. So this is the request for GLO to reimburse these funds for us. The next item on your agenda will be a request to pay these bills. So I'd ask your approval on item number 16 so we can get a draw made out to GLO.
Make a move to approve. Second.
Got a motion from Greg, second from Bruce to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion
I
carries.
noticed there's one change on these. Mr. Arthur has been the signatory, but on this particular program, you're the signatory, you and the judge.
Silly.
First, some numbers to me.
Okay. We'll take care of that.
I've not been the best choice you had there.
It's gonna be saying, homie, don't you know me?
Wayne, I think we've talked about you for a little bit.
Number 17, permits inspections from Mr. Douglas. Consider approving invoice number 12004366564 in the amount of $29,190.28. And invoice number 12004565889 in the amount of $7,297.57. These are from appraisal work on the housing buyout contract number 20-066-013 C095.
Self-explanatory.
Yes, sir.
We're drawing the money from GLO. This is where we pay the bill.
Motion to approve.
Motion Bruce, second Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. For Mr. Bush, number 18, consider and approve the order of appointment for election judges and alternate judges. Mr. Bush, you want to come up and visit with us on this?
Yes, sir, Judge, this is the biannual appointment of your judges for all the polling locations for a 2-year term. Both party chairmen have approved this, and this will be submitted to the court for your approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, second from David to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Don't sit down yet, Clint. Number 19, consider and approve the order of election for the November general election for county officers. We only have, we have a bunch of them, but there's only one contested, correct?
Yes, sir, just one contested for us locally, but then you have your congressional offices and your statewide offices. You do have to order this election per state law.
Motion to approve.
Motion from Bruce, second from Greg to order this election. All in favor, say aye.
So you're
Likewise,
saying we
nays.
couldn't refuse this?
You can, but I'm not that happy with
Oh,
that.
okay.
I don't think any responsibility is for that question.
And remember, you got to drive back to precinct 1. okay? Number 20 from Ms. Chambers, and there, she's still there in Aggieland with us. Consider and approve the contract and a payment of $5,000 to Net Data Corporation for the extraction of current jury data necessary for the implementation of the new Tyler jury software. Lee? You have to unmute. There you go.
There we go. My understanding was we needed this legacy data in order to implement our new jury software. Yesterday in a meeting, they said, well, maybe not, but I'm going to ask you to go ahead and approve it because we're in a time crunch. And if it turns out we can get by without it, then we just won't execute the contract. But just for expediency, please go ahead. And it's not 5,000, it's only 2,500.
And these funds are coming from where?
From the jury fund. Dwayne, I don't know the number, but it's a fund we put money in. If it comes out of every court case, we put a little money back into the jury to pay for jury cost, and that's what it's coming from.
All right, so that payment will be 2,500 instead of 5,000, correct?
It's just 2,500. That, yes, they got confused and they doubled it, but it's only 2,500. And like I said, we may not need it. We might be able to get by without it, but just in case, I'm asking you to approve it so we can move forward and get this software up and running for October.
Motion?
Make a motion, we approve.
Thank you. Motion from Leon, second from Greg. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 21 from Mr. Poston, our county attorney, consider and approve Liberty County non-consent tow policy. This has been a long time coming.
It has, and beg the court's patience. We're gonna ask that this be tabled one more time. We have some final tweaks that have been suggested, and we'll have a chance to review those before I give a full recommendation.
Fair enough.
The recommendation, make a motion to table.
Motion from Bruce, second from David.
Just table.
Motion from Bruce, second from David to table. All in favor, say aye. Likewise, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 22 from Mr. Poston. Consider and approve renewal of interlocal cooperation agreement with Texas State University and Precinct 6 Constable's Office for certain tobacco investigations.
This is a renewal of a program that Precinct 6 had last year. I understand it was successful. You're just asking to do it again.
Motion from David, second from Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Any reason for an executive session, gentlemen? I don't see any. All right. Got a motion from Bruce, They do to adjourn all, favor say aye.
Judge, I appreciate you.
Man.